Hello, welcome back to Hitting the Bars for another exciting conversation. How are you doing, Keltie?
I am doing fabulous. I feel like almost fully recovered. I just can't do push-ups, but I'm feeling like full of energy. You know what? I've been running. It feels free. Not full-on runs, but like just little wobbles down the street, I guess.
Yeah, like are you able to get your heart rate up?
So I
like define
wouldn't
wobble.
do literally imagine me wobbling like a penguin. Wobble. Exactly. But it's like a funny run. Like I wouldn't feel I can get my heart rate up, but I shouldn't be doing anything that intense that would get my heart rate up, if that makes sense. Like I shouldn't be doing full on sprints just because the physical action. But like if I were to, I don't know, sit here and think too hard and my heart rate gets up, that's okay. Maybe if I rage a little hard. But yeah, I'm almost fully recovered. And then Friday's my 4-week. And then for 2 weeks after that, I can start doing like push-ups. And then I'm like recovered, which is exciting.
Wow, you can do push-ups that soon? That's amazing.
It's 6 weeks. That's how fast time flies.
Wow. I did not know that. So is it different if you get implants? Because I couldn't do push-ups for like 3 months at least.
I was told 6 weeks.
Did your doctor? Wow, really?
But like I feel like most people don't, because after 6 weeks you're kind of like it just doesn't feel good and you're not 100% sure. So I think it takes like 3 months till you just feel like normal. That makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
And then I have a funny story I wanted to share, because as I was on one of my wibbles down the street, I passed by all my Americans are going to be like, what? And I was like, there's one Canadian that this makes sense for. There was something, and it struck fear in my soul when I saw it. And I was like, I just want to curl up in a ball and die, but it also made me laugh. So there's something called Kumon, I don't know, learning centers. Fun fact about me, I didn't learn to read till grade 3 because I was a stubborn child and I just didn't want to. And but I was really good at math, like really good at math. I could do grade 9 math in grade 3, but couldn't read. So they like thought I had to go into like the special program, because you know, like just sometimes like, yeah, we won't get into it. You know what I mean? But my parents were like, no, we just want to keep her in regular school. Like I think she just is being a little stubborn and just isn't excited by reading right now and writing. And so they put me in this like after school tutor program. So that's what kind of Cumin is. It's like people that really struggle. I don't know if it is still the same, but back then it was definitely people a little, you know, we were just special humans and we had trouble reading and writing and doing math. And so I'd have to go like twice a week after school, after sports, and do these like work projects. So just think, I'm a stubborn kid. That's why I'm not doing my homework and learning to read. Mm-hmm. So they put me into more homework and more school. So do you think I was stubborn? And I used to do this. And this is where I was like, this is how you work harder, not smarter, people. And this is how you have street smarts. And this is how you can get through university and do all that. But I eventually did learn to read. This is just a spoiler. But what I used to do, and I thought I was so smart, is you'd have the pamphlets you had to do each week. And my rationale was like, if there's no pages in the pamphlets, I don't have to do the homework. So I had this memory of every morning I'd wake up before this like tutor session, but crap, I didn't do any of it. So I'd rip out all the pages in my workbook and I'd hand it in. I'd only have one of the 20 done. There was just one page in this workbook. And the teachers would be like, where'd the other ones go? I was like, this is what you gave me. I don't know. I literally physically ripped the page and probably was so
physically
obvious.
Got rid of the evidence.
Yeah, that was just a memory. So anyone else who did Kumon, or Kumon, however you say it, is probably very traumatized as well. And I just had this memory of like, this is a metaphor for life. Work smarter, not harder. If you don't want to do it, you're just being stubborn, just rip out the pages and claim they were never in there.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And I think they just eventually were like, your daughter is not wanted here. I got kicked out.
You got kicked out of it.
Of the tutor program. And here I am.
They were like, she is a little shit, actually.
Yeah. I just plead the fifth of my poor like little blonde hair, blue eyes. I was like, oh no, there's just nothing in there. And they're like, you suck. I'm like, I do. I do suck. But anyways, I had that memory. So that was, I haven't been able to work out, but I'm just walking down memory lanes for workouts right now.
Wow. I love that. I feel like every kid had some point they weren't good at some subject.
Yeah.
And they like really highlighted it. in school for you to be like, hey, you suck at this. We need to even though that's not their intention, you knew.
And
you were like called out.
And how funny is it? Usually, whatever it was is the thing you end up liking the most when you're older.
Yeah, okay. True.
Because for me, what ended up happening is I just hated reading until my mom started reading the Harry Potter books to me. And then I was like, get to the point, woman. Read faster. And then I got so frustrated, I taught myself to read because I wanted to get to the end of Harry Potter books.
Oh, so that's all they needed to do was make it Harry Potter themed.
I know. And now I love entertainment. I'm in that whole world because of Harry Potter. And don't tell me to do math anymore. I was like, stay away from that. So do you have a subject that you were brutal at when you were younger and now it's become oddly your favorite?
Dude, okay, I was trying to think about it, and I was not good at math. I definitely had to come early, before school, and do a math class kind of thing. But I still hate math. So
But you might hate it, but now you're a business babe. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And math, and usually you think math that you're going to go into the business, entrepreneur. So you know what? You do it. And practically, you just don't do trigonometry and the stupid math.
Yeah, totally. There was also in my high school, you had to place for math, okay? And people could place at the normal. Say you went in, we have, when are you a freshman? 9th grade.
Yeah.
And say you place the 9th grade level. Cool, whatever. That's probably normal, right? But everyone would place above it. Except me.
Oh, no.
So I would always be in those normal, I was still normal for my age, but everyone else was so much smarter.
Oh, no.
And they wouldn't have to take math. It was kind of a messed up system if you think about it. They wouldn't have to take math. Say they went to the senior level their freshman year. They only had to take 1 year of math. It was insane. So when I was a senior, I had freshmen in my math class. Because some people would place there. And I was like, wow. They'd be like, wow, did you just come here from middle school? And I was like, no. I'm actually, heading out.
See you guys. I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
I had one friend. Her name was Janaea. And her and I had math. I think all 4 years because we were one of the few people that just placed the normal route.
That's so toxic. Can I use that word? I was like, that's a weird...
Low key, public American school right there. Okay?
We haven't.
They don't know what else to do. I don't.
We have a different system. Honestly, I don't know if it's still the same. It's kind of a smart system when you think about it. And maybe I'm gonna cancel myself. And people are like, Keltie, it's actually very problematic. So I'm sorry, I haven't been in high school in a decade. But we have I don't know if you do a test or it's just whatever grades you get in grade 9 because our high school is grade 10, 11, 12. And whatever grade you get in grade 9 places you in the math program you'll be in. So you'd either be in math 10, math 11, or math 12. But that's or you'd be in math.
Yeah, it's not what I just said.
No, but or it'd be no, sorry, it'd be math 10-1, math 10-2, math 10-3. It'd be I can't remember the numbers, but math 10-1 was top level, and the math 10-2 was bottom level. Math 10-3 is you really struggle at it. And to get into the university programs, you'd go 10-1 to 11-1 to 12-1 calculus. But you can't go from 10-2 to 11-1, if that makes sense. So you can't jump up. So you're kind of either you're stuck at this one program, and to get to university, a course that qualifies for university, you have to stay in the top tier or something. It was weird that. It was but just a lot of pressure when you're in grade 9.
100%.
Oh, sorry, you're not making it to university already. Yeah. You had a bad day on one test. Out.
Yeah, we used to have the Wassel. Did you guys have that? Did Canadians have the Wassel?
That sounds like wibble wobble, wibble wobble.
It does. Or it sounds like you're trying to say something, but you have a... What is it when your two front teeth make a
lisp
sound?
A lisp?
Yeah, a Wassel. Kind of like a whistle almost.
Yeah.
I actually think maybe it stands for Washington State something.
Yeah, but we don't have
but it got canceled. It's no longer allowed.
Okay.
Let me see. Wassel stands for, and it was horrible. Washington Assessment of Student Learning. Oh. Yeah. So I don't remember how often you had to do it, but it was so intense. You had to prep for the Wassel. I remember you got a lot of snacks.
Nice.
And you would take this test for a whole week, all day. all day long. I honestly couldn't tell you what happened if you passed or you didn't pass. I don't think I ever remember seeing my score, if I'm being perfectly honest. But everyone had to take it. And then I don't remember, I could be wrong. Maybe they still take it. But I thought there was like a debate on it not being fair to take. But we had things like that we would just like, the Wassel, it's here. Like, oh no. And it would be like based on all of the subjects. But I don't know. I've always been like a little hippie in school where like I'm more of the art route. Like I think I liked it at a young age and I still love it. Like I rather do art, music.
Art is where it's at.
Yeah.
Way more fun.
Yeah. So
normalize that.
That was my major. I like more chill, peace, love.
I agree. I only liked math because I was good at it. I hated it, but I could just get in, get out. But it was worst subject.
Yeah.
But we're getting off track.
Yeah, I know. Should we dive into it now? We always have to do a little convo before we jump in and get serious.
We should. You know? I was going to dive more into like PATs and all that, and people are like, this is like trauma for someone. Like PATs and SATs and Q1, and someone's sitting here like flashbacks just died. So you know what? We heard your cries. We're going to stop reliving our junior high dumbness and move on to
yes traumatic, but we can move on. And any teachers listening, we love you, we appreciate you, you have the patience of
especially after the last 2 years.
Absolutely. I bet you just blew up their eardrums with that clap. Oh my gosh.
We hope we turned it down. Maybe next time I'll do like a
ASMR.
Yeah.
I feel like that low-key will also blow up their eardrum.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We little wake you up. I know you're half asleep, and now you're like, whoo, ready to go.
Yeah. All right, dive into it, Keltie.
No. So, first of all, we are going to start off with a nice fat disclaimer. We are not registered dietitians. We are not giving nutritional advice. That is out of our scope of practices. We're just two girls that have eaten a lot of food in the last 2 to 3 decades. So we are going to talk about our experience and the most polarizing food choice. Nothing identifies you more, tells your beliefs, the side of the aisle you stand on, than your milk choice. When did milk become, like, it is a statement when you go to Starbucks and the milk you order. That says so much about you. And we're going to talk all about that today and how literally your milk is now a cult. I have a full belief that your milk choice shows what cult you're a member of.
Yes. If you think about it too, when I go to Starbucks and if I just order a latte, they are like, what milk do you want? Or like usually I think their standard's like 2%, or like a barista place will be like whole milk. But like it's never, no one ever does that anymore. They're like, do you want almond, cashew, oat milk? I have non-fat. I have 1%, 2%. I have heavy whipping cream, and it's coconut milk. And you're always like, oh. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I'll just take the normal. I don't know.
I don't want to say I get stereotyped, but I get very stereotyped at Starbucks. The amount of times I've gone and not said the milk, and they're like, oh. I'm like, oh yeah, oh, sounds good. They're just like, tall, blonde, white girl. She's ordering oat milk. Like, it's just like, it's like to a T. Like, every time, the amount of times it's like, or like, I don't even clarify it. And like, I do want it. It's just like this layer, like, we know. Oh. We know you're like the amount of
maybe that's why. Yeah. Maybe that we just like, we look like we have oat milk, and then you're like, well, yeah, sure, okay,
I love an oat milk cookie, so let's go with it.
Save the bloat, right? Thank you very much, Jennifer.
You're looking out for me.
Yeah,
especially you, because you are, which we'll talk about, is actually lactose intolerant, and so literally we'll talk all about that throughout the video. But I thought it'd be fun us to go back in time to where this kind of all started. Because believe it or not, you young Gen Zs listen, there was a time when your only milk option was 1%, 2%, or skim. Would that be the 3? Or homo? Those were like, that was milk choice. It was all from a cow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so I thought I'd start off with my first introduction to eliminating a food group of sorts. So when I was in high school, and I wonder how many this happened to people, I went vegan. So
in high school, you went vegan.
I remember I went vegan, and it was in the middle of my grade 12 year. I was playing volleyball, basketball. I was doing like 4 sports, trying to go to college. So crazy energy output. And I read some book, And my best friend is vegetarian, so I was kind of introduced to it because she'd watched a PETA video in grade 8. And then I just remember reading this book, and they were like, yeah, it's really bad for the animals, and it's bad for you. And I was like, done. I'm going vegan. And my mom's like, yeah, you sure about that? And I was like, yep. She's like, if you do this, this is all on you. And I'm like, okay, I've got it. And this is before the time of like Beyond Meat and vegan options. The only options I had as a broke student and all that was like crackers and peanut butter. I lived off peanut butter sandwiches for a good 3 months. And like that was all I had because I didn't know how to make anything else, and nothing came vegan. And so it was just like carbs and fats. And I think I would occasionally get tofu, but I didn't know how to make it. So I was just like, hey, yeah, we'll just eat peanut butter and sandwiches on repeat. And it was like a specific kind of sandwich because no sandwiches were like vegan or had this. I can't even remember. But I think I did it for 2 or 3 months, and then Thanksgiving came. And I was like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I care about it, but I'm not like that crazy about it. I was like, Thanksgiving, so my family doesn't ever prepare me an extra side because it was just me. I was like, I won't be vegan on Thanksgiving. And I had my first bite of turkey. I kid you. I come from a big family. And I mean, like, I'm the only girl in my family. I come from like 12, 6'4" football, baseball, basketball player guys are my cousins. And we all shared. I ate half the turkey. I could not stop. I ate only meat products for a week after that. It like opened Pandora's box, and I was like, oh, no. How have I been without it? And like I was just like bacon wrapped around my like chicken, and that was all I ate. And just like loaded on with gravy, and then I just kind of was like, I hope no one notices I'm not vegan anymore. Just didn't bring attention to it.
Did they notice if you're eating like a turkey leg at school or something?
I just don't think I was that cool that people really paid attention. They were just like, oh yeah, glad to see she's not eating peanut butter sandwiches anymore.
They're like, that really smells, honestly.
And the worst,
thank God.
The worst part is my brother's deathly allergic to peanut butter sandwiches.
Oh, you're so inconsiderate.
So just such a selfish, small-minded high school student. Be like, no, save the animals. But like, no, I think at the end of the day, I was just like, I think I'm going to look hot for grad if I eat vegan. I to this day think it was a bit of everything. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to try this. And my mom was like, okay, you're going to regret it. Did I?
I love that so much. And that you had peanut butter every single day. Did you hate peanut butter, or did you just keep going for it? Why didn't you add jelly in? Like, what?
Oh, it was like,
doesn't make any sense.
I think I started off with peanut butter, and because I used to always eat peanut butter honey sandwiches. And then,
ooh,
great. Yes. And then I remember having like a moral conflict because some vegans don't eat honey. And I was like, what do I do about this? And then so I was just ate peanut butter sandwiches. I'm pretty sure I just put brown sugar.
Ew. Brown sugar and peanut butter? You didn't want the jelly?
I think I don't know.
I answered the jelly
question. I was so uneducated.
Oh my God.
Like, I kid you not. I was uneducated and broke. So it was just like, that was my restaurant. It wasn't like, oh, what do I need to eat? It was like, what can I eat? Like, I'd go to restaurants and the only thing I could ever order was like bruschetta. So I just eat like bread and tomatoes and olive oil.
Oh, that was you were that was girl.
I
had a friend in college. Her name is Friday, and I love her name. And she had this tagline that she acted like a Friday night.
Yeah.
And she really did. She was a wild child.
I love it.
And we had met freshman year, and college did not have a lot of vegan options. And I think she was the first vegan I'd like truly met that was our age. Like, a lot of my family is from Seattle. My mom's family is very like, my aunt and uncle were was at pescatarian for a really long time, but they used to be vegan. So like, I was pretty familiar with it, Seattle people.
Yeah.
Hippie dippies, right? Like, yeah, but I'd never met someone our age. And I remember we were like living in the dorms. We had cafeterias. Like, you had a card. That's how you paid for your food. Like, we didn't have a kitchen, right? She would eat French fries every single day because there was no vegan options, or like Oreos. And I was like, wow, that's a bummer to be vegan in a college town that, like, I'm sure now, like, that college has a plethora of vegan options just because I feel like it's so much more accepted. But back then, not a chance. Like, she would truly eat French fries every single day.
It was a different beast. It was a different beast back then. Like, now eating vegan's like fun. There's like vegan comfort. There's a vegan of everything. But back then, it was like French fries. And like a lot of French fries, it was like you turned a blind eye because you very well were like, this could be fried in the same oil as the beef. But you're like, it's this or nothing. So you're just like,
yeah.
I'll take the French fries and I'm not going to think too hard.
Yes, absolutely. I guess when I dabbled with being a vegan for a little bit, and Michael and I were living in Huntington Beach. We were out of college, and we watched the documentary Game Changers. Yes, the iconic Game Changers. Was this during? No, this was before COVID.
Yeah.
But like it blew up. Shout out Netflix. You know, just spreads like wildfire. And we basically watched it one night. And we were like, we're to go vegan. And I think we went vegan for 3 months. I was trying to remember the timeline. And then we had a trip come up. So then we were like, we're breaking it. That was our goal. And we stuck to it. And oddly, we got used to being vegan. Like when we go out to eat, like California, there's a lot of options for vegans. But there would be the most annoying little things. Like some restaurants make their ketchup with like, I think it's bone char.
Oh, so, yeah. There's always those weird little things.
Yeah. So they'd be like, yeah, you also can't have the ketchup. And I'd be like, are you kidding me? Then what else can I have? I'm a saucy human. Like, come on, man. Like, what the heck? It's tomato sauce. It should not have bone char. And I just remember that was like a little annoying at first, but then we just wanted to see how we felt. I was documenting it on YouTube, and it was a lot of Beyond Meat, and it was a lot of, I would make Buddha bowls, like these Nourish bowls with lots of veggies. And honestly, I was a queen at like baking veggies and really eating like whole foods, which was phenomenal. But after a while, we just didn't feel the best, I think, because we weren't like capitalizing on all of like the whole foods that we could eat. We were more like eating the processed vegan food. So it was kind of making us feel crappy, which we'll dive into. But yeah, even prior, like I haven't had milk in my diet for a long time just because I was feeling really crummy when I was young, and they were like, yeah, you're lactose intolerant. And then I still have milk all the time because I like creamer, that kind of stuff, but I do try to like cut back. And especially like if I don't want to feel too bloated, like that's just what it does for me. It just like hurts my stomach. I feel extremely bloated if I have any form of milk, things like that.
Yeah, it's so funny with the Game Changers because like that leads into like another thing of just like the ebbs and flows of, you know, what milk is in, what is good for the environment, what is good for you, and like what media is painting. Because same idea, Game Changers. At that time, the biggest thing on YouTube, and some of you have seen it, was like diet challenges. And like that was the big thing. And like BuzzFeed was doing it. And that was the only reason I did it. Like I'd never been on a diet aside from that brief time I tried veganism. For other reasons. Then I was just like, no, it gets views, like let's try it. So I did like 30 days of vegan and 30 days of keto and all that, just because that was like what was trending. But it was interesting the second time I was like, hey, I went vegan. Like it was night and day with all the other options and just having like the education behind it. Just even like knowing like rice and beans makes it complete protein, and just like those little, as basic as it is, and making sure you get like B12 because you're not getting it from meat, and just those little things, and just the accessibility. Like it is crazy how much better it is now, which is awesome. So if you do choose to do vegan, but I did notice, like I did it, and I still love eating vegan and being plant-based, like a lot of those foods, and I get it. But then I also experimented with, and it's interesting because I know you'll talk about this in a second, where when you posted your vegan video, because I definitely got like praised for that. So it was like I also found, I feel bad for anyone who does veganism online when they're not fully. It's different when someone like this is who I've always been, and you know they've just always been that for a long time. Like my childhood best friend has been vegetarian for 15 years. My other best friend's been vegan for forever. Like it's just who they are. But I think of like my one friend Joe Lee. He started as like vegan minimalism, and he did a lot of content around there. And like, but his whole premise for doing it was he's like, I just want to do, like, his mantra now is like, be less shitty. He's like, I just want to do good things for the environment. I don't want to be perfect, but like, and then like I feel bad sometimes with like this almost label you do yourself. Like I like now that I'm like, I can do a lot plant-based. I can be mindful of it, but like I don't like the label of vegan, because then suddenly like it's like a chokehold. Like if you screw up once, you know what I mean? And I think that's the bad side about all these, and it scares people from even doing it, I think, anytime, because you're scared of trying vegan food, because then you're like, oh, I'm just gonna be vegan, and but I like bacon. I was like, why don't we normalize like being a vegan that eats bacon? You know what I mean? Like if you really can't live without it, like I think that's kind of a nice way you can go about it. And then also veganism isn't gonna work, because I know for me, it just, each time I've done it, I can do it, but like I don't feel like optimized for myself, at least. Anytime I've tried it, and I'll go through phases. Like my family, every once in a while, I'll be like, let's go meat free for a little bit. So I'm like, sure. And like I can do it, but like I've never felt the exact same as if like I do have dairy, which my body does work really well with, and if I do have some kind of animal products in me.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like even I feel like we keep stemming it back to that documentary, but you know, the biggest takeaway that I got from that was I remember the documentary was saying you don't necessarily have to have a meat protein every single meal. I thought that was extremely interesting, and it got me like thinking on like being creative with tofu, but even that tofu is technically processed. So like things that are more natural, like chickpeas, lentils, like getting creative with beans. Like I tried so many different types of beans. Like I thought that was really neat from that was I personally don't always incorporate meat or like animal product in all of my meals. And like Michael definitely eats meat more than I do. I don't personally eat red meat really, or I've just never really been a fan of it. There's like no reason behind that. So he's been gone for this week, and I went to the store and I did not buy one animal product like meat wise. I just literally got tofu. I got chickpeas. I like that's my jam. Yeah. But like I do love a chicken nugget. So that's where you're right. Like I don't want to be identified. I prefer to eat like vegetarian, but I also love chicken nuggets. One of my really good friends here, she is vegan, and she's so passionate why she's vegan, like animal lover, and like that. Really she donates to certain causes. And she, when I first met her, we went out. Have you ever heard of Tao? My ladies that live in LA and New York. Okay. We met her for the first time in Tao, and I'd never been there, and I was like, wow, it's such a trendy, cute club, right? And we're like getting all the fun cocktails. I get really drunk. She gets really drunk. And she was like telling us prior to us being drunk, she was vegan, right? And she's like, oh, they have the best fortune cookie here. We must order it. And we order it, and she's just diving in. And I'm like, bro, there's like milk in this. And she's like, oh, yeah. No, like I'm vegan. Like I eat vegan, but then I splurge on these certain times. And I was like, yes, I love that. And so we now live near her, and I like know her really well, and she does eat vegan at her home, but like, and she doesn't eat, I guess she's vegetarian, and then she mostly eats vegan at home, and then like when she goes out and about, she'll have milk, she'll have cheese, things like that.
Yeah, I think that's such a cool way to go about it. Like even like me and beef, kind of like, it's not like a hard fact rule, but like I just don't bring meat and beef into my home. And like, so my rationale, because like, but I notice my body, and like I have Irish roots. Like I was born off steak and potatoes. Like I won't lie. Like when I have a steak meal, my body, like I feel it. And my family dips on the side of like low iron. So there's probably something like that. But I always try and be like, just eat a good steak from a restaurant. So like when I go out to a restaurant, a really nice steakhouse, I know the cow was like local. It was from like a really good farm, and that I can think this cow grazed on grass or that kind of dark meat. I was like, and that's when I'll have a steak. But then like I just never think to like go to the store and buy myself a steak. The very few times I'm with my boyfriend, and he's a classic man that eats steak, and so I'll have it then. But like that's even like work for me. It's just like doing stuff that like I think works for you, and not being so like chokehold on it, I think is important. And I like that. So because as soon as she says that, I think that she's probably inspired a lot more people to go vegan than someone who's like, you're eating that, versus someone who's like, yeah, no, I'm not perfect.
Yeah. And I think I understand when people are full-time vegan, or, you know, a full-time diet in general. Like, I don't think they have to break it, you know, but I do think it is nice to have that option, like you said, for those people that, you know, think they can't try and be more plant-based or things like that. But then it's interesting because when we were talking about, do we want to get into how we were talking about the documentary Game Changers, and how when you watch something like that, it makes you feel a certain way. So, because that's media, that's marketing.
Something I'm super passionate about, because as you guys, if you watch my YouTube, like I just love documentaries. Like I love that kind of form of content. And I I've taken a lot of school, but I did marketing in school. And so like, I'm very cynical. Like I don't trust anything painted at me. And most of those Netflix documentaries, not a lot of people talk about, is just like, it's a catch-22 because usually you invest in things you're passionate about. But all of those companies or all those missions, whether it be Seaspiracy, Game Changers, like they always had a product to sell you at the end. Whether it be they have a percent of stake in Beyond Meat, or they sell some kind of specific supplement, or they are part owner in this. And like, I think, and it's the same with sciences though. Like a lot of people don't realize like what percent of like scientific studies are paid off by massive brands or funded. And like, it's insane how you can manipulate data, as well as like someone who, the one thing I'm really happy, the other degree I took was sciences. The one most beneficial thing I ever took was like my intro science class in university, because it told you how to like design experiments and research studies, which at the time I was like, when will, like, this is so boring. I'm not going to be a scientist. But now I realize like how you can completely make an entire project like outcome bias. Like if you want, you know, I hate to say, if you want someone that like does really well on vegan, like is it, what percent is wealthy versus not wealthy? And do you know what I mean? Like, where are these people coming from? Do they have accessibility for really premium things? Do they have a chef? Do they have this making, or there's someone who has a really low income budget and so they just have to get super processed stuff. So like, you never know with like, there's so many, just hundreds of variables, and what percent of people stick to it? Because also people lie when you do studies. So like, there's so many just different things. So realizing any of these things that sound too good to be true, just what Sav said, like they try to evoke an emotion. That's the whole point of it. And then they have a product to sell you at the end. And the sad thing is, even if it seems like a morally good thing, there can still be, you know, business in it at the end of the day, and people have money to make.
Yeah, 100%. Because if you think about it, there's also documentaries like Keltie and I have talked about the hype of the man, I don't know his real name, Liver King. Yeah, but like he personally doesn't believe in like eating vegetables, I think. Like I was listening to that podcast, and he like doesn't eat greens or doesn't eat them as often. But then if you think about the documentary Game Changers, they talk about how humans are supposed to be vegetarians. Like we weren't supposed to eat meat like way back in the day of us caveman days, whatever it may be. But then he talks about how he's like seen, I think, what was it? He went to different tribes and like actually studied it, and they were eating more meat. So it's like, I'm not saying one way is right or wrong, but it's just interesting that there's all these different debates and all these different like outlooks and experiments. And I just think at the end of the day, it shouldn't be this difficult thing that I think you should make up your own mind with how you feel, how your body feels, how your body reacts with certain things, regardless of really what you hear. Or if you are really passionate about something, like if you want to be vegan or vegetarian because of animals' rights, like make your mind up about that, you know, not necessarily what the media or what some random person on Instagram is telling you.
Yeah. And the one thing I don't think, and this is going to be so like, oh, Keltie, shut up about gratitude and toxic positivity. But the one thing that pisses me off, we don't spend enough time talking about, is like how freaking adaptable the human body is. Like, exactly. For as much research as there is for tribes that just eat meat, the 5 blue zones where the people live to be the longest are primarily plant-based, and they eat like a small amount of dairy, you know, not processed food. You know, Italy is one of them, so they eat pasta and olive oil and dairy. And other ones is I'm going to butcher them. One, it's like somewhere in Japan, and they eat a lot of seafood and rice. And then another one is each one is a bit different, but they tend to be very plant-based. But like you said, there's also a lot of tribes who never eat meat. They get their vitamins from the liver of the animal because that's where a lot of it's stored. And like those people would also say some plants do give off toxins, and so you're not meant to eat it. And like that's the idea. Like just kale alone, there's so many polarizing things. But I think we spend a little bit too much time being like, you should be vegan, you should be keto, and be a bit more of like, you can be. Like that's the cool thing. We have one of the few bodies in the world, like as a organism, that can eat meat and can eat vegetables and can eat candy and can drink alcohol. And you know what I mean? Like we can and we can process it, and like, yeah, there's optimal ways, but like you got to enjoy it at the end of the day. And I think it's cool if you like eating vegan, you have a body that can eat vegan. If you like eating meat, you have a body that eat meat, and everyone's gonna be different. You're gonna have, we were just saying, you have an intolerance to dairy. I have a severe avocado allergy. If you just go off me, no one would eat avocado. That's like quote unquote the healthiest food. And that's a big reason I'm also not vegan. Do you know how hard it is to be a vegan and not eat avocado? You can't do it.
Dude,
you
I
can't do it.
That.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to just be like a quote unquote basic like health girl. Like the amount of times I go, I'm like, let's go get a smoothie bowl. Can't eat it, have it. Can't have it. Can't. Sushi. Can't have it. Can't have it. Like, no, it's all about, you don't understand. I feel, we're going to have a little talk.
Sit down.
Here's my little grip with the world. It's all no lactose, no gluten, nut free, vegan, keto. Where is it for the avocado allergies? No one cares about us. I was like, it's always like extra guac. I'm like, no, it will kill me.
Do you know how tried to revisit it?
Like,
maybe it's changed.
I did. Like I said, I don't come from money. Sometimes I've done things that are stupid. About 4 years ago, I was craving sushi so bad. And like, I just wanted it. And it was near the end of the night. And I went to the grocery store and they had like the pre-made sushi. And a couple of the rolls had avocado in it. So I was like, I'll just eat the rolls without it. And I ate those and it wasn't enough. And I was starving. And all I see is like 8 rolls with avocado. So I was like, I'm just going to scrape off that avocado really good and eat it. No, that was bad. I like couldn't breathe.
Even like residue.
I didn't think it was that bad until that's why I was like, you know what, just, you suck it up. You're not even allergic, because I don't test it that often, but I did it. And like my throat was, yes, I had to take Benadryl, my stomach, I started dry heaving. And that was like not even eating it. It was just like the residue. So, and I also have, do I expose my really embarrassing allergy?
Yes.
I have a latex allergy.
Why did I know it? Why did I know you were going to say latex?
I know. It's so like, because everyone's like, how did you find out? I'm like, I know. How did I find out?
Okay, wait. Okay, I have an odd story about latex.
Okay.
This sounds strange already. But I was getting my lashes done, and my lash gal was like putting on this serum that was supposed to like, I don't know, help set. Yeah. And she was like, do you have any allergies? Or specifically, are you allergic to latex? And I was like, not that I know of. I've never had an issue. And then she puts it on my eyeballs. And my eye, she was like, I've never seen it this bad. Like, she was freaking me out. I was like, do I need to go to the hospital? And my eyes were so swollen, like so red, burning. And she was like, you're definitely allergic to latex.
You are too?
I mean, I guess.
Look at us. Okay, that's mind-blowing to me, because I got eyelash extensions twice, and I liked them. And the third time I went, my eyes like swelled and closed, and I couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't see for 3 days.
And now usually their glue doesn't have latex. It's like, I feel like because I've had lashes for so long, but like I know the lash world. So some glue will react to your eyes differently. So like I used to go to a place in Huntington that like my eyes were like solid, like swollen shut for like 3 days after. And I was like, wow, I guess I can't get lash extensions. Yeah. And then I went to somewhere else that had different glue, and I never had that issue. So I just think it may be some do contain it and some don't. Yeah. And she had said this primer does have latex, but her glue never does. So I
wonder if it was the primer. What if I had that primer and that's what it did it?
Yeah.
Because then it would make sense. But where you're like, Keltie, what does latex and avocado? They're typically combined. Like usually if you're allergic to avocado, it's like the same, whatever it is that makes me allergic to avocado, I'm also allergic to bananas, latex, and avocado. It's like the same protein.
Are you also allergic to bananas?
I risk it for the biscuit for bananas.
Oh my gosh.
I don't eat, I very seldomly eat bananas, just because and I'll eat them in small doses, but
You're like shaking with a banana. Like
I'm like, do I risk it? Do I risk it? But I will eat banana bread, because I feel I've never had an issue with it baked. So if it's baked, so like, I've always wondered, I was like, do I bake it avocado? But that seems to defeat.
Stop, no, don't bake avocado. I guess you could have it in... No. I was like, avocado bread. But it sounds like you're severely allergic.
I want to test it, because I heard you can... like reintroduce things. But
yeah, that's the thing. I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
And
so
what are your thoughts on, I've heard studies where like if you introduce a newborn or like when they start eating like solid food that like, and introduce them to all these different allergens like peanuts and things like that, then it could help them not develop the allergy, right? So were you not fed avocado?
No, this is the opposite. This is so fascinating. So this is just a little fun fact. So it is a lot of things. They've done studies about like what you eat when you have like a child brewing in your belly, like that can impact them. My mom's number one craving when she was pregnant with me was avocados. She ate 2 avocados a day when she was pregnant with me. So like she used to tell me about it, and then I refused to eat avocados, and she didn't get why when I was young. I was like, no, they're gross, but it turned out because I didn't realize gross. I was like, they make me feel icky, and she didn't realize I was having like an allergic reaction, so I just tried a little bit. So that's why I never ate them. And then when I was older, I was just always like, no, I don't like avocados, they're gross. And I was like, actually, I've never tried one. And then I tried one. But yeah, so it's just interesting how like it's true, like what you're fed as like a child or like can inhibit it. But I'm going to take my poison because like I can eat gluten, lactose, protein like a champ. Like my body, like I got those Irish genes. Like we can eat beer and steak and potatoes and just thrive. But give me an avocado and I might roll over and die.
You're done. Yeah, you can't hang with a Chipotle bowl with extra guac.
I know, guac.
There's, after this, we can move on because I understand this is turning into an allergy talk, but I'm fascinated because, I mean, like, I'm like lactose intolerant, right? So it's not like I'm like severely allergic. So it's like one of my friends, Riley, she is severely allergic to nuts. I feel like when people have a nut allergy, they're not like casually intolerant to a nut. They're like, they're going to die if they have a nut, right?
Sorry.
And so she tells me this when I meet her.
Oh, just go on. Tell.
Okay. So I question like why airplanes still sell nuts in general because of this. But so she tells me, oh yeah, I'm allergic to nuts. And like she's allergic to all these seeds, all this strange stuff, right? And I was like, oh, okay. And we go to this place called Lemonade in California. And I'm also like, do you have an EpiPen? And she's like, oh, actually, I left it. She's from Washington. They moved to California. She's like, I left it at home. It's fine, though. Like, whatever. And I'm like, okay. We go to Lemonade. And, like, she is so chill. Like, she goes to order this bowl. And she's like, oh, I don't think there's nuts in it. And I was like, wait, we should probably check if there's nuts in this. I feel like whenever I'm with a friend that has this severe allergy, I'm like a mom. And she like asks the girl like, hey, is there nuts in it? And she's like, oh, actually, I don't know. And so she's like, I don't know. Do you want me to get my manager? I don't think there is, though. You should be fine. And I'm over here like, get the manager. Oh my gosh. Heck no. Like maybe touch something. And literally Riley's like, no, you're good. Okay. I trust you. I'm sure there's no nuts in it. And I'm just like, I don't know what it is. Like you guys are just so nonchalant that like you can't have avocado or you can't have a nut. And I'm over here being like, holy cow, we have to man the fort down and make sure she doesn't have a nut near her, you know?
Everyone needs that friend because like I'm the same. I'm just like, oh, yeah, it'll work out. And then my friend Ash is like, no, keep her, like put it on the forum when we walk in. So everyone needs that friend. Yeah. But why I burst out laughing, then this will be the last allergy and we'll pop back into some fun milk conversations. But this is the worst thing my mother has ever done to me. So my brother, like I said, deathly allergic to nuts, especially peanuts. Like he's been hospitalized many of times. 2 years ago, I get a text message from an unknown number. It is my brother in a hospital bed with black pouring out of his mouth. No context. Just like my little brother, like my only sibling, just like looking dead with like black stuff coming out all over his face. I was like, I literally thought it was being blackmailed. I was like, someone has my brother hostage. They're like going, I was just like, what's going on? I'm calling my mom. No one's picking up. I'm calling my brother. My mom nonchalant calls me back an hour later. She's like, hey, Kel, how you doing? We're just in the hospital with Keenan. I was like, what the F is going on? You have like some explaining to do. Like, she's like, oh, that was like that's my stepdad. He had another number. He texted me off. And I didn't realize when you eat peanuts and you're having an allergic reaction, they make you drink like charcoal sometimes. So my brother had gone to a restaurant. He was like, I think there's peanuts in this. And so they raced him to the hospital, had him to charcoal. He was fine. But the fact no one was like, oh yeah, Keenan had a slight allergic reaction, had some charcoal. They just thought, let's just send the photo. Unknown number. Your brother. I was like dying. I'm like calling everyone I know, my auntie, uncles. I was just like, someone, what has happened to Keenan? I'm being blackmailed. Like, but yeah, so.
I love that. Wait, okay, I have one more. One more allergy story, but it's so good.
They're so good. Okay, tell.
Okay, so Michael's allergic to tuna, okay? So
tuna?
When we go to tuna, it's annoying. I don't even know, okay? But like his mouth, he freaks out. And so we go to sushi, and in California, they have these like sushi buffets. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe it's everywhere, but Washington, we didn't have this. And basically you get this sheet of paper and you fill out what rolls you want. So it's not like there's a physical buffet. They just make it all you can eat. And the kicker is you have to eat everything, including even little tiny amounts of rice. Otherwise, you pay the full price for all of the rolls. So you can do as many sessions of like sushi as you want. All you can eat, right? We go for lunch. I'm so excited. Hadn't been to sushi in forever. And we tell them, hey, Michael's allergic to tuna, and write that down. Please don't let anything touch tuna. And so we stupidly order a tuna roll and just like sub it for salmon, because that's what we usually do for him. And we do the first round, and Michael's like, okay, I'm ready for round 2. And I'm like, honestly, babe, I am so full. I'll probably have like a couple bites, but I ate a lot of rolls. Like, I'm probably done. I'm going to tap out. This is your win right here. He's like, cool, no problem. So he orders like 4 more rolls. And the first bite he takes, they forgot and they put tuna in it. And he's like, Sav, we need to go. This is tuna. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you need to finish all of the sushi, because we had no money. Like, we had just moved to California and we were broke as a joke. And so, like, there's a reason we went to a sushi buffet midday, was because there was a good deal. And so to like pay $40 more for rolls, heck no. So I'm like, wait, okay. Like, I'm free. And he goes, and you need to do it fast. My mouth is closing. And I'm like, and I didn't think the like logic thing would be, hey, you guys screwed up. Yeah. I'm not paying for that. Like, we're just going to pay our bill and leave. That would have been logic, because technically it was on them. But I didn't think this through. I was panicking. So I'm literally eating. Yeah. Like taking handfuls, putting it in my mouth. I'm spitting it into my napkin. Because remember, you can't leave even a grain of rice there, okay? I'm throwing it in ficuses when they're not looking. I'm literally throwing it in these fake plants. I had a purse. Yeah. And I full-blown just sushied up the purse. I'm just throwing sushi in my purse, and I'm crying. And I did not talk to him for like 2 hours after that. Like, I was so mad. And it occurred to me, I don't need to finish this after I finished all of it. And I didn't eat sushi for like 6 months. And like, the worst part is we got home, and Michael was like, after he was fine, took things, he goes, I'm still hungry. And I'm literally like, I'm going to kill you. Eat my purse sushi, like, you bitch. I was like, what?
I was like, I'm going to throw up and you eat this.
Yeah, no, I tried to go vomit. I was like so full, but I just could not. I was like, there's no way I'm dropping $40. We had just graduated college. I had no money. So it is by far one of my favorite stories now. But at the moment, I was like legitimate, like, I'm about to break up with you. I can't believe that just happened. Like, and tuna allergy, I'm done. No.
I hope you see the tears. All I can envision is Sav's face the second it was like 4 rolls when you're full. It's like, I just see that conversation so vividly. Like,
and like, rice expands. Fully. Yeah, it was by far the worst experience of my life.
That's brutal. That is brutal. Our like men are supposed to be best friends. He can't eat, Megs can't eat salmon. And yours can't eat tuna. So they can just swap, and it's perfect. And we can eat both. We're meant to be sushi dates. Double date soon.
Wait, I love that. Absolutely. I feel like Megs and Michael have like weird things in common we don't even realize.
There's so many things we've said that are like, they're weird, like
weirdly.
They're like,
yeah, we're like, oh wait,
oddly niche things. And I was like, yeah, no, he does that too. They probably say that about us.
Yeah, right. When I guess they haven't met us, but when we all come together And then they get to know us. They'll be like, wow, they're like replicas of each other.
We love it. Oh my God, I got snot literally coming down from laughing so hard.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad
that was
it made
good.
you laugh.
I
hope everyone was laughing.
Yeah,
because I was not in the moment. I was crying in a rice dish. I was just so sad.
It's a reminder. If you're going through tough times.
Never went back.
Oh, no. That's scarring. I was like, it's just
I'll never do a sushi buffet.
Anytime you're going through something hard, just know the harder it is, the better the story it's going to be in a couple of years. So just know that.
100%.
So I got a question then. So we'll get back to topic, and I got a good way to siphon back.
Okay.
I'm going to list off the milks.
Okay.
And I want you to rank them from best to worst. Okay. We got dairy.
Okay.
2%, 1% skip. We're just going to put it all. So classic, no one even drinks it anymore, just a classic cow. We got cow. We got coconut, almond, oat,
cashew.
Wait, so we got milk, coconut, almond, oat milk, cashew. Isn't there another? Soy. Soy is the other guy.
Personally, I'm gonna speak some truth into this. There is nothing better, in my opinion, than a whole milk latte. It is so smooth and creamy. And like, as much as I cannot have dairy, I'm like, why would I pay for a deflated oat milk latte? Like, I want the whole milk. So for me, I'm gonna be honest, that's my number one. I love whole milk. I don't buy it because I would just probably chug it from the gallon, but I love whole milk. What about you?
Okay, I'm unpopular opinion. Cow milk is the superior milk, but
100%.
I'm sorry, guys, and we were raised off it. So you youngins that are like under the age of 20, like you say, I was raised off it. I lived off chocolate milk and cow milk my whole life. But I will say, I tend to only order it when I know it comes from a happy cow. That's kind of my rule. I was like, I'll eat dairy.
How do you know it comes from a happy cow?
Because it's like grass fed. You know what I mean? Like it's like.
Okay.
What did he tell you? A barista. What on a scale of 1 to 10? How is the mental health of this cow? I need to know.
Stop.
Hasn't been to therapy lately. I need to know before I can drink this.
It's like extra sour if it was like not.
I was like, no, this cow's a bitch. Like I want a happy one. I want sweet. And also, I drink a lot more dairy when I'm in like Alberta because we're known for our cows. Like Alberta beef is a thing, so we have happy cows. So like our cows are, I see them. Like you just drive down the road, and you're like, hey, there's a guy. He's just chilling. So like I feel good about drinking from our cows. And also in Sweden, they're known for their dairy as well. But I won't lie, when I'm down in America, I don't know what you guys do to your cows sometimes, and it doesn't make me happy. So I don't drink cow milk in Canada, in the States. I only in Canada I do. But like
in Canada,
like I said, I won't drink from like Starbucks or McDonald's. Like, I go to the carton and I make sure it's like a local farm, and this cow is happy and it loves getting milked, and I'm gonna go drink it because I know it's happy and mentally sound.
Wait, did you ever back in high school do the milk challenge?
Oh yeah, I've done all that stuff.
You have done the milk challenge?
Yeah.
Did you vomit?
I think I just like gave up. I think I was drunk. We did drunk for like a.
Oh, ew! What? No,
it was like
drunk.
Okay. All I remember is it was like, oh god, this is like a decade ago. It was like freshman party thing. It was like the week before school. Everyone's in the dorms and everyone goes to this field and you do all these like weird relay races and all this kind of stuff to like meet your classmates. And we're like, this sounds awkward. So we all drank and then went there. And then we were supposed to do relay races, and I can't remember. That was one of them. And like somehow if you finish, I can't remember. I just remember like having it and trying to drink a bunch, and I was like, I'm over this. And then it just gave up. And so only like 3 of the guys
they did it.
Tried it, and then fully tried, and they all vomited.
Oh yeah, for people that don't know what the milk challenge is, it was like a weird thing that went viral, and it was people would take a gallon of milk and you had to chug it within like 2 hours or something. And I remember wow, this is really embarrassing to me. For my 16th birthday, I had a bunch of my girlfriends come over, and 2 of them wanted to do the milk challenge. And I had just gotten my license, so I drove to the store and I bought 2 gallons of milk. And I remember my dad had made steak or something weird like that for them. Like maybe one girl had steak before she came. I just remember because I'm like, I don't like steak. So I feel like she came full of steak and asparagus. And basically we went out to like our backyard and they just sat there and chugged milk until they vomited. And we weirdly found that like very fun. Like the milk challenge doesn't make sense at all, and it's disgusting. But you know, it's the past.
There's no social media. We drank milk. It was a different time.
We drank milk. I weirdly have a video on Facebook from it, and then I also have photos of us. It's so embarrassing of me pretending to hold a garbage bag and then pretending to puke.
Oh God! And the things we used to do.
I don't know.
Okay.
The things we used to do, right?
Rapid fire. You have to finish. So number 1 was dairy. What was the next 2 to 6? Rapid fire. Rank them. Best to worst.
Oh, oat milk.
Then so
because I feel oat milk's best because I feel like you can get it really creamy. Cashew milk, bomb. I just like cashews. Then coconut milk. I strongly hate coconut, in general, but sometimes I'll look past it.
Yeah.
And what was it?
Soy and almond.
Oh, dude, almond milk for me is just not it. It's like there's some taste about it that I cannot hang with almond milk. And then soy, I don't know. I guess I've never really tried soy. I heard it was bad for your reproductive system, so I just never tried it again. I don't know if that's true, but it freaked me out.
If you want to, we could do a whole episode just on that. And guess what? This episode I don't want to do, so we're not giving it to you. So this is the closest we get. Okay, I'm gonna rapid fire do mine.
Yeah, your turn.
Number 1, regular. Number 2, cashew. A good cashew milk is underrated. Or I'll also put macadamia and nut. Those 2, but then 3, oat milk. Only reason is I eat a lot of oats. I eat granola bars. I'm kind of sick of oatmeal. I won't lie. I'm sick of oat milk. I'm like, I have too much of this flavor in my day to day. So when it first came out, I was like, it's good. Now I'm like, I'm over oats. I get enough of it, so I stay away. Then I'm canceled. Canceled. We eat enough oatmeal. I was like, we're all gonna have oat intolerance. The amount of oat we consume from oat TikTok and oat milk, and I was like, we're all consuming nonstop oats. Let's just have rice or something. I don't know. But then so then oat milk. 4, almond. I do like an almond. There's a lot of selection. I feel you can get a variety. It's not flavorful to me. I just think it's plain.
Yeah.
And then
thin.
Yeah. I was like, it works. It's almond. I'll get it. Sometimes I like the flavor. Then soy milk, because I like soy milk's sweet. It tastes really good. I like the taste of it, but I'm the same idea. I'm like, I've been told it's bad. I've been told it's fine. It seems too political of a choice. I was like, that's too much mental.
When I was young and I wasn't allowed to have milk, I remember I would have soy constantly, but I weirdly can't remember it. Clearly it was not memorable because, and then as I got older, that's when oat milk and stuff like that started coming out.
So last I'm gonna do coconut, because I feel like coconut, I think of pina coladas, and I think of that's I guess the only time I want it in a tropical cold beverage with alcohol. Anything else of that, I'm like, this is not right. Don't put it in my coffee. I was like, it's just not a combo I want. It just seems totally wrong. Every once in a while, that's all Starbucks has or wherever I am. I'm like, I'll just take it black. It just seems. But then pina colada, put it in me.
I also don't understand where coconut milk comes from, because I definitely have cracked a few coconuts in my day living, on an island. There's not milk in there. It's coconut water. Am I missing a spot in the coconut?
I think you don't milk the coconut. It's not
no, but do you have to soak it in its white core, and that's coconut milk? I think coconut water becomes milk.
You know how they make oat milk and almond milk, it's blended. Oh, yes. And I think that's what they do with coconut. It's the pulp of it. It's not the water in it.
See, I always thought it was there's legitimate milk in this coconut, and then I was like, dude, no, plot twist. It's water.
I could be really wrong, but just using logic, so I'm like, no, because it's water in it. So I think it's the pulp. Because if you you blend. Yeah, no, that's what it is.
I'm gonna see, how is coconut milk made? First thing that came up. Oh yeah, involves grating coconut meat, mixing it with hot water, and pressing the liquid through a cheesecloth. You are 100% right.
I nailed it. Just using my common sense. Cumin, you got nothing on me.
And there's me smarts, over here being there's water. I don't understand.
You're cracking open. You're just what's going on? Elsa, here's a little hangover hack. Coconut water, great electrolyte.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, so but you know what? It's slimy. I don't like the slime of coconut water.
I'm not a big coconut water person. The pulp in it, I'm like, I don't really like to chew my liquids. I just like to get them down.
Yeah, it's a principle of me not liking coconut for me to not even because coconut water doesn't taste like coconut necessarily. Maybe it slight tinge, right? But I'm still like, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry. No, like, it's a principle.
It's
I can't
meant for pina coladas, tropical drinks, and macaroons. Or not macaroons. What are those things? The coconut balls. Coconut balls. I think they're also called macaroons, but they're not the macaroon you're thinking of. They're like chocolate coconut balls.
Oh, thinking of the Girl Scout Samoa cookies. They're my nightmare. Literally, like, anything coconut is my nightmare. Anything pineapple is my nightmare. So, like,
that's fine.
Pina coladas is my worst enemy.
Unpopular opinion. Pina coladas are a very mediocre beverage. Like, I know I'm talking.
Just hype them up.
I just was like in the flow. Like, I don't really enjoy them all that much. I was just more like, I like faker. I like the concept of a pina colada. You know what I mean? I like a margarita. We're on the beach and it's a tropical beverage. But like, in terms of like, if I'm ordering a pina colada, it's like 40th on the list. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's also like very heavy. Like, it's like Bloody Marys to me are very heavy too. You know, like, I feel like you can't have like 7. Well, that's excessive.
7 of much things.
You can't have 7. Yeah. We're getting silly, goofy moods. 7. Wow, where am I going? 4 like pina coladas. Yeah. But I feel like you could have like 4 vodka sodas within a night if you wanted to. But like that much pina colada, no. You're gonna roll out of the bar. Like, that's so much.
Some beverages are just like a one drink. Like, you just get the one and no more. Yes. And then they're like sick. And also, Bloody Marys are a sin. It's called a Caesar up in Canada, and it's the superior beverage. Is
there like Caesar salad in it?
No.
Well,
no. I was like, yeah.
Why is it called a Caesar?
It's because I don't even know. It's like if we were like Canada was doing a cocktail night and we had to represent for our nation, we bring a Caesar. And it is superior to Bloody Marys. I'll make you guys one. But it's clam juice, Tabasco, Worcestershire sauce. Usually there's like a spice, then vodka. But like, honestly, if you're leveled up, you do a tequila Caesar. And then the best part about it, that we have this like rim, the Caesar rim. It's like salty and celery. And it's the garnishes. Because we go full out. We put on full meals on the garnishes. You know the little like stick you have? Like, there's pepperoni sticks and people like olives and pickles and we go crazy. Anyways, if you're hungover, a Caesar will cure you.
But not the salad.
No. Salads are delicious though. Sometimes I oddly crave a Caesar salad.
You dumb American.
That's the most American thing you've ever said. I was like, a Caesar. You're like, salad? The most American thing you've ever said. I feel discriminated against.
You know, you just had to. You set it up because
I gave it to you on a platter.
And I was like, you did. Well, I feel like we are well above our time. Also, this was a fun little impromptu and little tangents we went on. So now you guys know Keltie's allergic to avocados. So if you ever meet her, don't put one in her face. Now you know that Michael's allergic to tuna. So you won't catch me eating tuna near this man. Yep. Otherwise, I'll have to eat the whole thing.
And if we see you eating lactose, just be like, she's going to have a tummy ache. No crop tops tonight.
Let me live my life.
Exactly.
I'm going to be bloated, and, you know, there's days I accept it.
Exactly. And so don't be taking no photos after at bad angles. Be like, the girl's eating her dairy. Normalize. It's okay to bloat because it's worth it.
100%. Cheese boards, they're my love language. Yeah. I'm not gonna give them up.
And I feel we completely missed the whole theme that was going to be this podcast. So if it doesn't have we just kind of, the whole idea, we were just going to say that, like, so I will wrap it up real fast. Okay. People hold way too much political beliefs on, like, how they eat. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's like, whether you have a vegan or a dairy, or if you're keto or whatever, it's kind of like, and I get it, we don't have religion anymore. Like, as bad as it sounds, like, people don't really go to church on Sundays like they used to. Like, and we're humans. Like, humans are meant to be like community, like tribe. We're like meant to have our people and fight for something, and like we don't have that anymore. So I think sometimes we latch on too much to something that doesn't really have to be your whole identity. Now, if you're really passionate, there's some people who are really passionate, and I don't want to stigmatize, but I think sometimes we put a little too much pressure of like, you're vegan, you have to be perfect, you have to like abide all these specific rules, and then if you're keto and you have to eat like this way, and like normalize, like trying, seeing what works for you. Like you said, humans, that's the cool thing. We're very adapted. We can eat seasonally. We can eat meat sometimes and we eat veggies, and we cycle through and like don't feel like, try a vegan meal, try plant-based if you never have. Try, you know, incorporating some sustainable meat from a local farmer, and like some more fattier meat, and not just having chicken. Like try a salmon, and go meet your local butcher and see where the meat's actually coming from, and like normalize like sustainable seasonal. That's like saying, I know I'm passionate, I'm not perfect, but like that's, I'm just like kind of know where your food's coming from. And I think that's should be normalized, like going down to your farmer's market, getting, so it's cheaper, support your local farmers, it's going to be tastier, it's going to be fresher, and like just having fun with it. Like make it a day, like go enjoy those things, try new things. And maybe I just wish we had more things that people don't have to feel their identity is so tied to the food they eat, because then I think it doesn't have to be that deep sometimes. No. Like yes, we can make choices that change the world, but I don't know, sometimes it's like it puts so much pressure on people that I think people would just rather not, just, and then just make it fun. Go to your local farmer, get some cherries on the side of the road.
100%. And even take into account, like, it could be like your blood type. Like, you know how there's some studies on like a certain blood type does better with red meat or does better with X, Y, and Z. Like there's so many factors that play into like how your body's going to react to like a certain diet in general. And I'm sure like one day we'll touch on more topics of all these crazy diets that we hear, where like some people, you know, keto diet works fantastic for them, and then you meet another person that's doing the same exact thing and it's not working at all, and they have no energy or whatever it may be. Like there's so many factors that play into like how your body reacts to a diet. Totally. There is no cookie cutter like, this is going to work for me. You have to really figure it out on your own and do trial and error.
We use an example, like even we talked about today, like there's been studies about like what the mom eats affects how the baby comes out. My mom ate 2 avocados a day. It could be a coincidence, but then I get an avocado allergy. So it could be something as simple as that. On the same side, ancestry. There's more studies coming out about that. Like I have a lot of Northern European roots. I'm a Scandinavian, like Viking Irish mix. And I guess what my body likes, steak and potatoes. I always have good digestion versus, and I can eat gluten. I can eat dairy. I have my 2 really good best friends, Ash and Joe, come from like Asian like roots, and they both can't tolerate dairy. It's really common. A lot of people from Asian countries have dairy intolerances because like ancestrally it wasn't as prominent. Not saying everyone, it's just like it's a common thing. And there's just like a lot of things like that, whether it be your ancestors, what your mom ate, what you were introduced to as a young age. My brother he ate peanuts when he was younger. Maybe he wouldn't have had it. So it's kind of like you gotta try, and don't be scared. Don't try something you're allergic to, but just like have fun with it. I think we should just have a bit more fun. And like at the end of the day, I think the keto and vegan armies are battling the exact same thing. They want something sustainable for the environment. So vegans say more plant-based. Keto carnivore says more sustainable regenerative farming. And they want something that optimizes your hormones, makes you live longer, is good for the environment. And the reality is we don't know 100% which is better. And we just kind of have to keep trying to do our absolute best.
Mm-hmm. We're just winging it in the end, you know?
If you're a drunk vegan that eats chicken nugget at 2 a.m., we're just winging it. It happens.
It happens. Yeah, shit happens. Chicken happens.
Sometimes
Nuggies happen.
Sometimes you lie and say you like pina coladas when you don't. Sometimes that's life.
Yeah. Cancel.
Cancel me. My camera's about to die. It's flashing red. So we're going to wrap it up.
Okay. That is our wrap up. Please leave a comment on our Instagram. Don't forget to follow it. Also, please write a review, and we will shout out our reviews in the next video.
I have a request. On mine and Sav's next Instagram post, or on the Hitting the Bars Instagram, anyone, go comment your favorite milk. Let's see what the best milk. Just say let's dairy, debate this. Coconut, just on any. It could be on mine, it could be on Sav's, Hitting the Bars. Just go comment your favorite milk, and we're going to tell you next episode who won.
Yes. Oh, my, that's a great idea. Pull it up.
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Next time we'll see you.
Bye.